Get back up here. Ugh. Ooh. Probably the first time in a long while that I've actually had to sit down and do this. So, I mean, obviously this is going to be the YouTube portion, and I will definitely do one for Twitch. Just a very short one. And I'm not going to take a lot of you guys' time. I'm not even going to do my intro. I'm just going to simply explain the title of the video, get it out, get the Twitch part done, and just kind of move on with my day. I mean, I'll take a little bit of time, but I'm not going to make it a super long explanation. I'm just going to simply tell you guys why I've been MIA the last couple of months. Or maybe even shorter than that. I don't know. It feels like all my weeks are running together. But since the end of last year, I've been in a very fluctuating state of mind. Anybody that follows me on the channel, unfortunately, I flip-flop. You know, sometimes I take long extended breaks. Sometimes I'm very consistent. I've kind of just come to a screeching halt. Not to quit. As I've always said, I will never quit. I will always reduce. And that's kind of where I've come to. And actually, let me switch to Icaros here. I'm just going to let him fly around. By the way, guys, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey in my personal time. I'm actually almost near the end of the game. I'm on the last 2 or 3 chapters. But real quickly before I get into the serious topic, look how beautiful this place is. Like, nice little mountainscapes. And we'll just kind of fly. I mean, we'll probably fly towards Athens. All that stuff. But anyway, well, Icaros is flying, and you guys can have a nice little background. You guys know how I am. I like having these cool backgrounds while I'm talking, because it adds a little bit of validity. So, I have been MIA the last couple of months, and the reason for that is because I've been in a very fluctuatingly frustrated state of mind. And it's not really been good, guys. It really hasn't. I've been very frustrated. I've been very annoyed with a lot of things towards the end of the year, a lot of workplace drama, but also just a lot of really annoying and obnoxious things have been happening, both in and out of work. A lot of stuff that's happened to me personally. I've just gotten to a mindset where I don't really want to do anything, and I just would much rather get out of my house. But I can't, because where I live at, it's a small town. I don't even want to get into that, because I know how I am. I'm going to start probably bad-mouthing a lot of the place that I live at, and I don't want to do that. But needless to say, I've become increasingly very frustrated and unhappy with my current situation, both living and like socially, etc. Like, I'm getting that walls collapsing in on me kind of feeling. And it's also just the fact that even if I were to stream and stuff, everybody's like, oh, you gotta fake it till you make it if you really want it. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not that kind of person. And I've always said that I should treat this like a hobby, and I do. I think more or less the reason that I am doing this video is because A, it's been a while, and B, I feel like it's always to me kind of fair to let you guys know that, you know, hey, I'm not always up for streaming. And there's a lot of people that are dedicated to it that want to do it, and I'm fine with that, but I've just come to the conclusion that maybe obviously, you know, it's the beginning of the new year, you know, it's winter, and in winter a lot of people, because, you know, you don't see the sun as much, you know, maybe a lot of it is I'm just going through a rough patch. A lot of it may just be that I've finally just realized that, you know, maybe this just isn't for me, but honestly, I think I've just come to the conclusion that it's a competitive market. Not just on YouTube, not just on Twitch, not just on Mixer, but in any social media personality or social media, like, I guess you could say, bureaucracy in general. And I've just come to the realization, and I think what sparked it was more or less what Jacksepticeye had said last night when he was doing a thing where he was watching his most popular videos, you know, talking about how, you know, back in the day on YouTube you could throw up anything and people would love it. And now it's like there's shareholders, there's algorithms, there's, you know, demonetization, there's all this and that. Bleh. And I hate it now because, to me, you can't be yourself. And even if you're somebody who's like, well, I want my content to be family friendly, I want my stuff to be monetized, even then, you're still scrutinized for it. And to me, I'm not saying that they're taking away freedom of expression, but I'm saying they're reducing people's ability to express themselves, and to the point to where essentially all of us that want to be the next generation of like top tier YouTubers or aspiring ones, you know, we're pretty much just done. We might as well just stick with our boring, you know, body aching 9-to-5 jobs, because they will pay more than, you know, trying to do this stuff. And I don't say that to be bitter, I just say it because it's the truth as I see it. And that to me is sad. It's sad when I have to sit here and say that something that I enjoy, I'm not going to get any enjoyment out of. Because if I want to take it seriously, you know, I have to do double the work, I have to do this and that, and I'm sorry, I already work hard enough. And I already stress myself out enough, you know, dealing with the things that I deal with outside of here. And it's just, I've gotten to a point to where I will admit, maybe I'm a little bitter, because I didn't strike it rich very quickly, so to speak. And that's been a point of contention among a lot of my friends and a lot of other people, and even, you know, even my own mother outside of this place. Like, a lot of people have been telling me, well, maybe it's just not meant to be. And I'm getting around to the point to where I believe them, but I also, at the same time, I'm like, why? Like, why is this not working out? This is the perfect platform for me. This is the perfect, like, thing for me. And yet, you know, it's just not, it's not working out. And I think a lot of that is also, it comes from a place of discipline as well. Like, I feel like if I'm not doing it, why do it? But there's also that pressure of, well, if I just go months on end without doing anything, then, you know, people are going to think that I've just up and quit, or, you know, they're going to think these negative connotations for me. And I've come to the conclusion that it's not wrong, that there is a lot of that kind of ingrained into me, but a lot of it is also the fact that it's like, you know, I think in my own head, it's like, you know, I work hard and I talk about these things, and I would think that people would relate to that, you know, the fact of, and maybe a lot of it has always been, it's been in my head for years. Like the fact that, you know, oh, it's okay if you take a break, Steve, you know, take as much time as you need, but in my head I'm just like, to me that's code for, well, take a month or two off, but please come back. Otherwise, I'll move on to other people. I don't know. I've just come to the conclusion where I've said screw it. If people unsub from me, if people stop watching my content, if people I'm kind of done with the pressure. Not just from myself, but the pressure that I perceive that a lot of you guys put on me. And by no means am I blaming anybody, but it's just, I think I've come to a very angry and bittered mindset the last couple of months where I'm like, none of anything that I want has worked out for me. But I think it's also an isolationist feeling, like the more isolated you are, the more you kind of start to get stuck in your own head and you start to think of stuff that is not even close to true. I'm struggling to keep myself sane and happy. Because when you start to get unhappy, it takes away a lot of things. And you start to get angry with people that you normally would not get angry with, and you lose your patience. That's why I think, that's why I kind of am liking going to that's why I think this year I'm just going to try to go to as many indie wrestling shows as humanly possible. Just for a change of perspective, something new, something to get away. And I might even branch out and try to do a couple of new things, like outside of here. Like just stuff that I think will give me a fresh perspective, something new, and something really positive to do. And I think it's also the fact that I need to, and I've started to kind of do it a little bit more slowly, is just kind of detox away from social media. Like I don't get on Twitter at all the last couple of months. I haven't. I've kind of tried to stay away from Facebook, especially since everybody wants to post their political opinions, and I'm a very anti-politics guy. So I'm trying to detox myself away from a lot of the stuff in general. So that's part of the reason I've been staying away from Twitch, part of the reason I've been staying away from YouTube, part of the reason I'm trying to not respond to anything on Twitter and Facebook. I feel like if I just kind of detox, quote unquote, myself away from this stuff, that maybe I will kind of start to get a clearer head. But I also understand that, that may not be the exact answer that I need, but, I'm better off trying than, and seeing if, okay, maybe this will help, alleviate my mood, maybe it won't. I don't know. But I feel it's only fair to you guys that I get on here, and I went way longer than I really wanted to. I'm looking at the clock. I kind of rambled because I don't want to come across as completely angry and bitter. Like, I want to acknowledge that there's anger and bitterness, but I don't want to come across as completely angry and going off and blaming people that don't need to be blamed, but I'm in a very angry mindset. And I'm in a very angry mindset because, of a lot of different factors, but the main one is just stress and isolation. I mean, I know that I can reach out to a lot of, my friends and a lot of the people that are close to me, but a lot of them, A, have gotten married and are starting families, B, a lot of them are working, and I'm just to a point to where I need to get away from anyone and anything that is going to stress me out, that is going to put me in a toxic mood. When you start to get angry to the point that you are okay with physically lashing out towards people or threatening to, that's I think when it's time to really kind of stop, take a deep breath and go, okay, I am getting to a point of almost no return. And it's like, maybe I need to start planning stuff to get me out of the area. Even if it's just for the weekend, just a change of perspective. And that's what I'm going to start doing. You know, I'm going to try to start getting out more. But the problem is, I work the majority of the week, and I maybe get one day off, and that one day off, I tend to just stay home because I'm sore. And then, you know, the only other day, you know, it's, you know, there's no public transit because, you know, it's the weekend. So, you guys can kind of see my dilemma. You can kind of see my dilemma a little bit. So I'm stuck between a rock and a literal hard place. It's not like it was, you know, a couple of years ago before the move to this apartment when I could easily just go anywhere that I wanted. I could go see a movie, all that stuff. No, here I'm now in the butt crack of nowhere, and the only transit system runs maybe once or twice to the corresponding towns and counties, and it sucks. It really sucks. It's a downgrade from where everything was micromanageable. At least to a monochrome. So, I don't know. But I've rambled on enough. This went 6 to 7, almost 8 minutes longer than I really wanted it to. Ooh, look at that mountainscape. That is pretty. But this went way longer than I wanted it to. But the general gist of what I'm saying, guys, to summarize, is I've been MIA, and I'm going to continue to do so. Mainly just because I've reached a point where I'm like, you know, screw it. I'm not getting the things that I really want. And why should I do something that I'm not going to put a lot of passion into, that, you know, I'm not getting the return or feeling of satisfaction that I really wanted out of it, as selfish as that sounds. And I've always said that this is going to be a hobby thing, but now it's really just going to be a hobby thing. Like maybe once in a blue moon I'll do a video, or I'll stream, or maybe I'll just slowly start doing videos in a series, because trying to be consistent, not just with my work schedule, but just in general, trying to be consistent with, you know, trying to get myself out there, it's just become too much of a burden and a headache. And I'm just better off just kind of staying in obscurity, not letting myself get big, because all that's really going to do is just add to my problems and my stress. You know, I don't mean to be melancholy, but at the same time, that's just where my head's at right now. It's where my head's been at the last couple of months. And it's also just the fact that, you know, I haven't streamed for so long that I'm like, you know, nobody's really going to honestly, you know, like, care. And everybody's just going to move on to other YouTubers anyway, so I'm okay with this. I've learned to accept this. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to stop the video right here. I will for now. I won't say goodbye, because it's not, but for now, I'm just gonna kind of bow out into the background, because, you know, I've just reached a point where it's probably better that I just kind of stay in the background and don't, you know, just X, Y, and Z. Like, that's just where my head's at. So take care, guys. Have a good one. I promise you at some point I will try to do another video, and maybe a short one. It may just be something like this, you know, where I kind of talk and have something in the background. But make no mistake, guys, I will keep doing videos, but I think just for now I need to focus on where my own head is at. Because and I need to do what's right by me. First and foremost, always. So hopefully you guys understand. Hopefully you guys understand that just, it's nothing personal. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not trying to be super bitter, but at the same time, my head is just, it's in a very toxic and very angry place. And it's probably going to be for a while. And I'm not going to say that that's okay, but I think it's an isolationist feeling, if you guys catch my drift. So we shall see. So take care, guys. Have a good one. Let me fly in here real quick, because I think this is a mercenary that in the game that I have not tracked yet. Okay, good. Yep, definitely a merc. I wasn't tracking. Okay, so let me pause here. Whoop. Didn't mean to get on the ship page. So, okay. Take care, guys. I need to go over to Twitch, explain this stuff too, and I'll see you guys around. I just don't know when. Don't care to say when, but it'll be whenever I feel like it. And that's probably a good thing. It's just a lot healthier.